Hi, my lovely magical bumblebees. It's Ethony. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be walking you through one of my favorite spells of all time, my fuck off energy vampire spell. This is an easy spell that you can do at any time, and it is perfect for a workplace environment where you feel like someone is sucking your energy out every day. I just had a funny image of What We Do in the Shadows, energy vampire. Or you live in a space where you are living with different people, maybe you have roommates that you're not, vibing with all the time, or you just want to have it as a way to ward a space. This is something I actually learned from a witch in Australia. This was something that I found when we were talking, and she had this on her desk, and I was like, well, what is this? And I was a fully witchy person at that point. Like, I was a fully initiated witch, all that kind of stuff. So I knew it was something magical because it was surrounded by crystals, and she said it was a way to ward off negative energy. And I was like, boo, that is amazing. I wanted to recognize where the inspiration came from, and thank you so much for showing me this amazing spell. Alrighty, so let's talk about what you're going to need for this simple and effective spell. The good thing about this, and I think the great thing about a lot of witchcraft, is you're going to find a lot of these things in your kitchen. You may already have everything you need at home. So the first thing you're going to need is a glass. If possible, you can use plastic, but glass is better. Screw top lid jar. Now, a preserve jar, jam jar, anything like that, even like a spaghetti jar, if you've got glass, will work. But I wanted something around this size because it is really good to keep in a drawer at work or where you live if you don't want your witchcraft on display or disturbed by other people. I also found one with a black lid. Black is a color we use in spellcraft for protection. So this was perfect, and it set me back $1.20. The pantry items you're going to need is rice. So you can use any type of rice that you have around your home. When I was researching the magical properties of rice, I found that rice is used in so much magic, and I wanted to do a little bit more current research because I like to know why we're using things. And rice is very important in the areas of the world where it grows, mostly in Asia, and it is used for so much. It represents abundance and bounty. It is a protective substance. It is so versatile, but we're using the rice as a protective substance. There is a myth lore in some Asian cultures where if you put rice at the door, the bad spirits will be so busy counting the grains of rice they won't bother you. I am absolutely paraphrasing, but that is so cool. And this could be why rice is used in these sorts of jars as a way to get bad energy away from you. You're also going to need a type of salt. So I have just got regular table salt or sea salt. I also have, as you can see on this plate that I'm showing you now, black salt. This has come to me from different apothecaries and different witchy shops. You can go and get that from wherever you wish if you want to, but it is not necessarily. Of course, black salt is going to be very protective. And you can also use pink salt, Himalayan salt, whatever kind of salt you got, babe. Salt is the ultimate protector. It was very correct in one of my favorite movies, Hocus Pocus, with the salt circle. Salt has been used for so long as a protective barrier and ingredient. So you want some salt as well. Then you're going to need 3 different herbs. Well, 2 herbs and 1 flower. The first one is lavender. So we're going to put lavender in there. It smells great. So if you have the lid open, it's going to have this beautiful lavender smell. You can use a lavender essential oil as well if you like. Secondly, lavender is fantastic for peace and bringing a calming effect. So that is going to be a great way to sort of dispel those bad vibes. Then you're going to need rosemary, and rosemary is one of my absolute favorite protective herbs. So you're going to bring this rosemary in. It smells great as well, and it is a very, very potent protector. The last herb you're going to need is basil, which is another protective herb. Basil and rosemary can usually be found in most kitchen cupboards. You can use the dried stuff that you get from the supermarket if you don't have like magical herbs or you don't have anything fresh. But of course, you can use fresh herbs if you want. The only thing with fresh herbs is that it may get moldy. So I would recommend drying it out before you put it into your jar. And the final thing you're going to need is a piece of black tourmaline. I have smaller chips of black tourmaline, which I'm showing you now because I have a lot of different spell things around my house. You don't need to have more than one. You can just use one tumbled piece of black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is such an essential for every witch. It is the stone that I recommend to everyone when it comes to protection. It is a way to get bad vibes away from you, and it is also said to absorb bad vibes as well. If you don't have black tourmaline, you can also use a smoky quartz. And if you don't have a smoky quartz, you can use clear quartz, because remember, clear quartz can be used in place of anything else. You can also place a clear quartz in the jar if you need it to be magnified. Like if you're really dealing with an asshole, put a piece of clear quartz in there to really boost that energy, or some rose quartz if you're wanting to heal a relationship that has still got some like icky vibes around it. Remember, witches, magical people, adapt, adapt, adapt. If you don't have something on this list, find something in place of it. A quick Google search of what herbs are good for protection, you might find something you already have in your kitchen. Just because I say it doesn't mean it is witchy gospel. So how do we do this spell? It is so easy, babes. When you're putting everything into this jar, I want you to feel as though you are creating a trapdoor, like a ghost trap from Ghostbusters. You are creating this vessel that is going to draw in all the bad, icky, gross things and keep it inside this jar. So I'm going to go switch over cameras and we're going to put this spell together. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients. We have our rice, we have our basil, our rosemary, lavender, salt. This is just the kitchen salt, black salt, and some black tourmaline. And there's a little quartz in there as well, and our jar. So let's get started. It is gonna feel a little bit awkward because I have to fill it up. I can't tip it like, like this, but I will do the best that I can. So the first thing you're gonna do is line the little bottom of the jar with some salt. Salt is a protector and that purifier, so we're just going to do a nice layer of salt. So as you can see, there's just some salt there, and I feel like this is a really good boundary of like making sure that whatever kind of vibes you're putting into this jar, whatever bad vibes you're trapping into the jar, can't go anywhere. It can't leak through the bottom. So we have our salt. Then we're going to stick our black tourmalines in. I'm just going to put 3 in there, and it's going to live in the bottom there, like little mountains. And as I mentioned, the black tourmaline is really great for picking up all that bad juju. Then we're going to put some lavender. You can definitely mix this up. Like if you want to put things in a different layer, then, you know, go for it. So that lavender is that filter, is that layer of peace and love and all of those really peaceful, healing vibrations, and it smells amazing. You can even crush the lavender while you're putting it in to bring out, now my hands smell amazing. Then you're going to put your basil in. Okay, make a little layer of basil, and you're also going to put in your rosemary. So your basil and rosemary go on top of the lavender. Now comes all the rice. I'm going to try not to spill it everywhere. Okay, so I just had lots of brown rice at home. So I'm just gonna fill it as much as I can. We don't want this overflowing, but I'm going to fill that up. So it's pretty close to the top. I will show you a different section of this. And then I'm going to put my final layer of salt. So I'm going to put some of my black salt in it because I have it. And I'm going to mix it in with the white salt. Okay. So that's how you fill the jar. Now, how do we activate this spell? After you've sat with it and empowered it, and you can place it under the light of the full moon and all those sorts of things, you are going to place it in a drawer somewhere, or somewhere you think it's not going to be disturbed, on top of a fridge, somewhere that it's out of the way of children and dogs and all that kind of stuff. Every day you're going to unscrew the lid and leave it open because, as I mentioned, it's like that ghost buster trap. It's going to bring everything in and hold it in there. And then every 3 months, you're going to change the contents. So I definitely don't recommend that you put a really expensive piece of quartz or an expensive piece of black tourmaline in there, because every 3 months you want to create a new one so that that energy is fresh. And so you're getting rid of the old, all that bad stuff that has come into it. You're getting rid of it. You're dispersing it. This is how I would dispose of the contents. Firstly, I would put as much as I can in a food compost bin. So I would fish out the couple of stones that are in there, and I would put everything else in a food compost bin. It's all compostable, it's all food. If you've been using oil, that will be fine as well, just maybe don't douse it. And then the crystals I would give back to the earth. You can reuse crystals, guys. I'm not saying you can't, but for me, I just give them back. I just throw them in a river, or I'll put them in my garden somewhere. Maybe some kid will find it once it's been purified by Mother Nature and they'll take it home. That's just what I do. That's how I give it back. I say, thank you for the gift. I'm now giving it back to where it came from, the earth. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying. This is a versatile, easy jar spell that you can use and create for anyone. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be giving this jar to a friend of mine who's having some issues at work. It's a great little gift. I hope you enjoyed this Fuck Off Vampire spell jar, and let me know if you want to see more spells on this channel, and if you want to see more magic walkthroughs. I would love to know as I'm planning the content for the channel always, and I'd love to hear from you. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.